Hello, boys and girls. My name is Miss Paula, and I'm coming to you from the Royalton Library in the state of Vermont. And we've got a cold, snowy day today, but we've got a book that I think you're going to really like. It's called Be Nice to Spiders, and it's by Margaret Bloy Graham. Are you scared of spiders? I'm not. I think I might be if I saw a great big one. I would be surprised. And I certainly don't go around trying to catch a spider because some spiders are poison. But this spider is not. One morning, as the keeper of the zoo, he's in charge, see his hat, was about to unlock the gate, he noticed something on the steps. And there it is. It was a matchbox, and with a note that read, "Please look after Helen. I've had her since she was a baby, but I can't keep her anymore. We have to move to an apartment, and that won't take pets. Thanks, Billy." Well, there's the box, and there's the note. The keeper opened the matchbox, and out jumped Helen. Oh, she's pretty tiny here, but look, use your eyes, you'll see her. Out jumped Helen. "Great Scott," said the keeper. "It's a spider." He tried to catch her, but Helen was too fast for him. She had 8 legs, and she moved like lightning. That means very fast. Helen ran up a big maple tree, and then she quickly spun a long silk thread, because that's what spiders do. They spin threads, and lowered herself into the ventilator of a big building. It was the lion house. Let me make sure I didn't skip one. Sometimes the pages stick. Nope, we're right. It was the lion house. There was a big old lion in one cage, and a mother lion and her cubs, that's what you call little lions, in another. There were also lots of flies, and look at all those flies. They were buzzing in the lion's ears, and they were crawling on the lion's noses. The lions were annoyed, but Helen was delighted. Here's Helen. She sees all of this. Right away, she set to work to catch those flies. She began by spinning a web with her silk thread, and you can see one of the threads there. First, Helen spun the outside threads. There's 4 of them. Then she dropped straight down. Next, she spun lots of threads from the center to the outside. Then she spun a little spiral in the middle. Finally, she spun a big spiral. This part of the web was very sticky. When Helen had finished, she sat in the center and she waited. One by one, the flies got caught in the sticky part of the web, and one by one, Helen ate them. Well, we don't eat flies, but Helen has a lot to eat there, doesn't she? A week went by. Helen kept catching and eating flies until there were no more flies in the lion house. She caught them all, and she'd eaten them all. Now the big old lion snoozed peacefully all day long. The mother lion licked her cubs and purred, and Helen was fat and satisfied. And there's her web up above. 2 of the babies are looking at it. Next, Helen moved to the elephant house. There were lots of flies there too. And elephants don't like flies any better than lions do. In a week, Helen caught all the flies in the elephant house. The mother elephant and her baby were happy and could once again enjoy a bath. And there's where she made her web for the elephant. Then Helen moved to the, what's that? Zebra house. Flies were crawling all over those zebras and driving them wild. As soon as Helen had caught all the flies there, the zebras were able to eat their hay in peace and quiet. There's their hay. Helen went from one building to another, spinning webs and eating up all the flies. The zoo was a peaceful place. All the animals were happy and contented. As for Helen, she was happy and contented too. It was a paradise for her. One morning, the keeper blew his whistle 3 times. 3 times. All the men came running, and the animals looked up to see what was going on. "Boys," said the keeper, "the mayor is coming to inspect the zoo this afternoon at 4. The animals look fine, but the cages sure need cleaning up. And don't forget to get rid of all those spider webs." "But Chief," said his assistant, scratching his head, "I thought spiders were supposed to be sort of useful." "Joe," said the keeper, "those webs make the place look like a mess. Okay, boys, get busy." The men started sweeping the cages. Then they hosed and scrubbed them down. When they were cleaning the camel house, one of the men saw Helen. "Quick, give me the broom," he shouted. He took a big swing at her, but Helen had disappeared. The whole zoo was clean and shining when the mayor arrived. There's the mayor. "Excellent," he said. "I'm delighted. I've never seen this place so neat and the animals looking so well." Meanwhile, Helen was still in the camel house, hiding in a crack in the ceiling. As the days went by, she grew very hungry, but she didn't dare come out. The flies began coming back, and the camels were irritable again. At last, Helen became so hungry she couldn't stand it any longer. That night, when no one was around, she started spinning another web. From then on, Helen stayed in the camel house catching flies, but she didn't dare go anywhere else, which was lucky for the camels. They were happy and contented again. But everywhere else in the zoo, it was a different story. It didn't take long for the flies to come back and bother all the other animals. The keeper went from cage to cage. "I don't understand it, Joe," he said. "When the mayor was here, the animals were in such good shape. Now look at them." "You're right, Chief," said Joe. "The animals look miserable." That means very, very sad. Their last stop was at the camel house. "Why, the camels seem fine," said the keeper. "And there don't seem to be any flies in here," said Joe. They both looked around carefully. "Look, Chief," Joe shouted. "Now I know what's going on. See that spider up there? It's eating all the flies. That's why the camels look so good. Spiders are useful. That's what I tried to tell you the other day." "Of course," cried the keeper. "I should have known it all along. Let's call the men." He blew his whistle, and the men came running. "Boys," he said, "Joe has made a great discovery. Spiders are good for the zoo. They keep the flies from bothering the animals. They help us do our job. So, from now on, there's a new rule. Be nice to spiders." Soon the zoo became famous for its happy, healthy animals, and Helen was treated like a queen. One day, Helen's picture was in the newspaper. That evening, the father of the little boy who had left Helen at the zoo said, "Billy, look at this." "Hey, it's my spider," Billy shouted. "It's Helen." "Well, well," said his father. "Instead of the zoo taking care of Helen, Helen seems to be taking care of the zoo." The next morning, Billy ran to the zoo. "I'm Billy," he said to the keeper. "I'm the one who brought you that spider." "Hey, look, she's made an egg sac." And you can see it is very tiny there, but that's an egg sac. "I'll bet there are plenty of baby spiders coming out of that sack soon." And Billy was right. Well, look at this. A few days later, out of the egg sac came lots of little spiders. From then on, Helen and her children and all the animals in the zoo lived happily ever after. The end. And there Helen's even right there. Sometimes we forget that some bugs that we might not like too much can help us in ways that we don't remember or don't think about. Well, that's what happened with Helen. So it pays to be nice to spiders. However, if you see a spider, do not go up to a spider and grab it in your hand, because you have to know what kind of spider it is. Some spiders are good spiders. Some spiders can be very, very hurtful to people. So when you're looking at spiders, just look and then walk away. Well, it's time to say goodbye for now. It's time, it's time, it's time to say goodbye. Come back next week. We'll have another good story.